Hey, what's happening, everybody? Mac the Duelist coming at you again from the TCG Enterprise, where we're talking about all your favorite card games. And you guys, speaking of card games, I got another one for you today, another Commander deck. We're going to be actually going with Legolas, Master Archer, as befitting for Green Arrow here. Obviously, the mat is Yu-Gi-Oh! Based, but that's fine. That's the great thing about playmats. You could use them for anything. So anyway, we got our Legolas Master Archer, and I actually have multiple versions of this guy, honestly, but this one was a custom one that was made that I got from my buddy. He got that for me on special order. If you guys want to have one, I could definitely give you guys the link down below in the description. But pretty much what this guy is going to end up doing, he has reach, and whenever you cast a spell that targets Legolas Master Archer, put a +1 counter on that archer. And then whenever you cast a spell that targets a creature you don't control, Legolas deals damage equal to its power up to one target creature. So it helps out with a lot of board clearings, and it helps out to beef this guy up. Because we're running a lot of budget spells, it's a little bit more on the budget side base, but nonetheless, it's really good because it can get fast +1 counters on towards it to start dealing a bunch of damage. And no, when it deals off for the damage there, it's not in the form of commander power. So just a heads up towards that if anybody is having questions about that. All right, so starting off with our creatures, we have the Druid of Purification. Enters the battlefield, starting with you. Each player may choose an artifact or enchantment you don't control and destroy each permanent chosen this way. We have Elvish Mystic for mana ramping. Fin Horde Elves for mana ramping, Land War Elves for mana ramping. And then we have Muladi Yavimaya's Avatar. It has reach, trample. It gets a +1 for each land you control and each land card in your graveyard, which a lot of this stuff is it's all forest. Return 2 target lands you control to the owner's hand, and then return this from your graveyard to your hand. So that helps out in a lot of good ways. We have Questing Beast. It has Vigilance, Death Touch, and Haste. Can attack right away, and the damage you get dealt, it will destroy it. It can be blocked by power of 2 or less, which is great. It helps out against token decks. Combat damage that would be dealt by creatures you control can't be prevented. When it deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to target planeswalker that player controls. It's a clearer for planeswalkers. Runic Amosar, whenever an opponent activates an ability or card, or ability of a creature or a land that isn't a mana ability, lets me to go ahead and draw 1 card. Why not? We have one Tusky Bearer of the Secrets. Yep, I'm running this one in this deck too. Same as I did in Xenagos, I have one in here. Indestructible, can't be countered, attacks each combat. Allows me to go ahead and get drawing cards with said combat damage being dealt. One Ulvald Tracker allows you to go ahead and have things fight up against each other. One Wolves Pathfinder gets 1 mana of any color. Another target creature gains +3 and trample until the end of the turn, which helps. Now, as far as our Planeswalkers go, we are going to be going with 1 Nissa Ascended Amethyst and 1 Freyalise Lenoir's Fury. This one is really great. It allows you to go ahead and get the Phyrexian Horde creature token out, where X is the loyalty counters that are put onto Nissa. Target artifact or enchantment will get destroyed with a minus, and then until the end of the turn, creatures you control will gain +1/+1 for each forest you control, and then it also will gain trample, pass over damage, which is great. Freyalise allows you to go ahead and get a 1/1 creature token that's an elf druid, and it allows you to go ahead and get mana produce, destroy artifact or enchantment, draw a card for each green creature that you control. And this could also be your commander if you wish, but primarily want to use out for Legolas. That's our guy. Now, as far as artifacts go, we have 1 Soul Ring for mana ramping. We have 1 Arcane Signet for any color. We'll have 1 Emerald Medallion. We'll have our green spells, cost 1 less to cast, which is great. 1 Basilisk Collar gives the creature Death Touch and Lifelink. 1 Primal Amulet. Instants and sorceries you cast cost 1 less to cast, which is great because a lot of this deck is consisted of a lot of instants and sorceries. And I'm just going to whiz past this real quick. So pretty much when you have a charge counter on towards that, if there's 4 or more, you can remove those and transform it. And when you do end up transforming it, it actually does transform. It transforms into a land, Primal Wellspring, and it basically add 1 color to your mana pool with the mana spent for a instant or a sorcery spell. You copy it and charge for new targets for that said instant or sorcery, which is great. Then we have 1 Swiftfoot Boots. It allows you to have a hexproof and haste. 1 Argonath Pillars of the Kings. It's basically the Ozolith. Whenever a creature you control leaves the battlefield, if it had counters onto it, put those counters onto the Pillars of the Kings of the Ozolith. At the beginning of the combat on each turn, if it has counters on it, you may remove all counters from it onto target creature. So you could buff up Legolas. Oh yeah. Helps out a lot. Now on towards our sorceries, we have Broken Bond. Allows you to get target an artifact or enchantment, destroy it, and get a land onto the battlefield. Cultivate for mana ramping. Explore for lets you play an additional land for the turn. Harmonize for draw power. Nature's Lore gets you a forest card. Scale the Heights puts up +1 counters and you gain 2 life. And you do an additional land this turn, draw a card. Soul's Majesty, draw cards equal to the power of target creatures you control. Primal Might, target creature you control will get +X till the end of the turn. Fights up to 1 target creature you do not control. 1 Animist's Might. This spell costs 2 less to cast if it targets a legendary creature you control. Obviously, we're going to go with Legolas. Target creature you control deals damage equal to twice its power to target creature or planeswalker you do not control. So it gets rid of a lot of big dudes that might be coming into the play. Bushwhack. Search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle a target creature you control, fights another target creature you don't control. And we have Kodama's Reach for more mana ramping. Legolas's Quick Reflexes. This is an awesome card, quite costly actually, but that's still pretty good. Split Second basically can't be countered off with the if it's on the stack. You can't use any other sources, the instant or sorcery speed, or activate abilities and all that are not mana abilities. So basically, it's an interrupt. Untap target creature until the end of the turn. It has hexproof reach, and whenever this creature becomes tapped, it deals damage equal to its power up to 1 target creature. So, like I said, we're going to start board wiping a lot. 1 Ancient Animus. Put a +1 counter on target creature control. If it's legendary, it fights another target creature opponent controls. Beast Within gets a beast token, but destroys a permanent. 1 Bounty of the Hunt. You may remove a green card from your hand from the game instead of paying for the hunt, which obviously costs for 5. So you can just get rid of a simple thing you don't need. Put a +3 +1 counters distributed in any way that you choose on any number of targeted creatures, and then remove those counters at the end of the turn. So your main focus out towards this is to pitch a card, pump up Legolas really, really big, and swing. Charge through, target creature gains trample until the end of the turn, and then you draw a card. It helps. Gaia's Gift, put a +1 counter on target creature you control. Has reach, trample, hexproof, and indestructible till the end of the turn. We have Hunter's Insight. Choose the target creature you control. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to a player or a planeswalker this turn, draw that many cards. Oh yeah, we get a lot of draw power into this deck, so might as well use any source that we can. And we're using a lot of budget instants, as you could tell right now, for those who do know. We have Invigorate. If you control a forest, you may have an opponent gain 3 life instead of paying for Invigorate's cost. Target creature will get +4/+4 until the end of the turn. I don't mind giving my opponent 3 life, just as long as my guy can get beefed up. That's all right with me. 1 Invigorating Surge. Put a +1 counter on target creature you control, then double the number of +1 counters onto that creature, which is great. 1 Jaheira's Respite. Search up your library X basic land cards, where X is your number of creatures attacking you. Put those cards onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle them. You prevent all damage that would be dealt this turn. It is a fog, so it will prevent all the damage, and let you to go ahead and get more lands to come out, which is exactly what we need for this deck. 1 Lace of the Moon Glove. I love all these artworks, by the way. I went over with all the old school art, so it looks a little bit more rustic-like look. So that's why all of these basically have this certain pattern of being OG. Target creature gets Death Touch until the end of the turn, draws a card. And then we have Shadow Spear. Equipped creature gets +1/+1, and it has Trample and Lifelink. Permanents your opponent's control. Lose Hexproof and indestructible until the end of the turn. You'd equip 2, so why not? This card is pretty costly as well. I got that thing for $18. Woo! 1 Predator Strike. Target creature +3/+3, and Trample until the end of the turn. 1 Prize Fight. Target creature you control targets another creature you do not control, then they fight each other. Then you get a treasure token, so why not? 1 Provoke. Untap target creature you don't control. Target blocks this turn if able. Draws 1 card. 1 Ram Through. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. If the creature you control has Trample, excess damage is dealt to that creature's controller instead, which is great. Then we have 1 Refresh. Regenerate target creature. Draw 1 card. We have 1 Return of the Wild Speaker. Draw cards equal to the greatest number of non-human creatures you control, which is a lot of them. Non-human creatures you control will gain +3/+3 until the end of the turn. We're going to beef up all of our guys. Why not? Then we have 1 Silk Guard. Put X +1 counters on top of X target creatures you control. Put a +1 counter up on each up to X target creatures you control. I'm very mindful onto the to the wording of these things. Auras, equipments, and modified creatures you control gain hexproof until the end of the turn, which helps out a lot of our stuff. That way it doesn't get destroyed. 1 Swell of Growth. The target creature gets +2/+2 until the end of the turn. You put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. And then we have 1 Tamiyo Safekeeping. Target permanent you control gains hexproof and indestructible until the end of the turn. You gain 2 life. Why not? 1 Terrifying Presence. It's a fog. It prevents all combat damage, and anything will be dealt other than the target creature this turn is basically preventing. 1 Tireless Stand. Target creature you control will get +X/+X and hexproof and indestructible until the end of this turn. 1 Verdant Rebirth. Until the end of this turn, target creature your target creature, or a target creature, gains. Whenever this creature dies, return it to its owner's hand. Draw 1 card. We want to go ahead and get our creatures coming back. Multiple resources, because like I said, we're running a lot of instants and sorceries in this deck, mainly instants. So we have a very limited amount of creatures, so we want to be able to bring them out as bunched up as much as we can. 1 Wild Size. Target creature gains +2/+2 and Trample until the end of the turn. Draw 1 card. 1 Becoming Immense. It has Delve, so every card that's in your graveyard will basically reduce out the cost of this card's mana cost. Target creature will gain +6/+6 until the end of the turn. And then we have 1 Alpha Authority. It has an enchantment onto the creature. It has hexproof and can't be blocked by 2 or by more than 1 creature, which helps. We have 1 Audacity. Chant creature has 2 and 0 with Trample. And if it's put into the graveyard from the battlefield, you draw 1 card. 1 Dormant Grove. At the beginning of the combat at the beginning of the combat on your turn, put a +1 counter on target creature you control. Then if that creature has toughness of 6 or greater, transform it. And so when you do end up transforming it, we do run a lot of transformation cards in here. This one is Gnarling Grove Strider. Other creatures you control will have vigilance. So it's just a big beefy dude that'll turn in. It's an enchantment that turns into a big beefy dude. Why not? It's something to have. 1 Kindred's Transformation. Enters the battlefield, allows you to go ahead and draw 1 card. Enchanted creature loses all abilities and is green elk with a base power and toughness 3/3. The main focus out towards this is that you want to just go ahead and if you have nothing else, if this is in your hand, you want to just jump that thing up, so then that way you can just pump it up really fat. Yes, it will lose all of its ability, but you still have a beat stick. So that's the main point of it all, is just to have that. Rancor. Target creature will gain +2 and Trample, and then when it's put into the battlefield, you return Rancor to its hand. I'm sorry, when it's put into the graveyard, you put it into your opponent's to your hand. Roaring Earth. This one's really cool. I like the artwork onto this thing. Whenever a land enters onto the battlefield, whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1 counter on target creature or vehicle you control. Has a channel effect. Discard to the Roaring Earth And then put +1 counters X on target land you control. It becomes a 0/0 green spirit with haste, and it is still a land. Then we have 1 Season of Growth. It enters onto the battlefield under your control. Scry 1 lets you look at the top. Keep it. No. Put it on the bottom. Whenever you cast a spell that targets target creature you control, draw a card. And then we have 1 Cetacean Training. When it enters onto the battlefield, target a card. I'm sorry, draw a card. Sorry. Target creature will gain +1 and has trample. So why not? Beef up as much as we can here. 1 Sheltering Bogs. When it enters onto the battlefield, draw 1 card. Enchanted creature gains +1/+3. So we want to be able to always be able to pump up the toughness as well, in case we need to block. 6th Sense. Enchanted creature has, whenever this is dealt combat damage to a player, it allows you to go ahead and draw a card. So why not? We're going to be pumping up all these spells right away anyways. 1 Snake Umbra. It has +1/+1, and it has, whenever it deals damage to a player, it allows you to go ahead and draw 1 card. So that's it for all those. That is literally all of those, all the instants and everything like that. So now let's go on with the lands, very limited lands. 1 Blighted Woodland. Sacrifice it, search up to 2 basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield tapped. Basically your land searchings. We want to have 1 Castle Garenbrig. Enters the battlefield tapped unless you control a forest. Obviously, we will. You can pay off for 4, tap, add 6 green mana. Spend this mana only to cast creature spells or activated abilities of creatures. That's fine. We have so much to work with all these, so it makes it sensible to have it in the deck. 1 Mirrored Landscape lets you to go ahead and search up for basic lands. Why not? 1 Rogue's Passage makes it unblockable, which means it can't be blocked, obviously. And then we have 1 The Shire. Shire enters the battlefield tapped unless you control a legendary creature. Obviously, we do. Tap an untapped creature you control, and it lets you go ahead and get a food token. Why not? We have 1 Lair of the Hydra. If you control 2 or other lands, it becomes tapped until the end of the turn. Lair of the Hydra becomes an X6 green Hydra token or Hydra creature, and it is still a land. X can't be 0. That's fine. 1 Legolas Shiner the next. Choose a color. Obviously, we would go with green. Add to that mana pool pay 2, tap. Choose a color. Add to your mana pool an amount of mana of that color equal to your devotion to that color. So, based off the mana symbols that are there, you see how many mana symbols are there. Pay 2, tap. Let's say you have 6, and now you have 6 mana. We have 1 Reliquary Tower. No maximum hand size. Yay! We have 1 Tranquil Thicket because it's a green deck. Pay off 1, cycle it out. Why not? Draw a card. And then we have, of course, having our forests. All the Mirkwood forests. All the Mirkwood forests. Like I said, this is a green deck, so this is what we're working with here. I'm serious. Finally, War Room. Pay life equal to the number of colors in your commander's color identity and draw 1 card. You don't really care too much about life with this deck because you just want to swing and hit them right away. So, but that's it for the deck, you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. Please comment down below if you guys want to see more commanders. Trust me, I got a lot of them. So if you guys want to see more commander decks, go ahead and comment down below. If you guys want to see tips, tricks, all this other kind of stuff, I will gladly show it to you guys. Duels, live streams, all that nature. I will see you guys all until the next time. Like and subscribe, comment, hit the post notification bell, and I will see you all later. Peace out. Happy gaming.